and I've got an underlying condition, which is what? I'm insane. I'm losing my mind. Why? Because of Mucho More Madness. This could all go horribly wrong at any minute. Hello there, and welcome to the 224th edition of Louis Black's Rantcast, entitled Mucho More Madness, and that's what's happening today and yesterday, and it'll be happening tomorrow, and it will continue for quite some time, because the truth doesn't matter anymore. We're just going to tell you whatever the fuck we're thinking, and do we have to help our fellow man? No, not anymore, because we have to save enough money to be able to help other people who don't even need the fucking money, because that's where we're at. And do I seem a little out of sorts today? I'm not really out of sorts. I've just lost my mind because of Mucho More Madness. And I use the word mucho in honor of all of the those immigrants who do speak another language. And let me tell you, there are a lot of them, and they're all crazed killers. They are selling narcotics. They are doing things that are just so wrong. We have to get rid of each and every one of them. It doesn't matter. And it really, how do we know? There doesn't seem to be anyone taking responsibility for fucking anything out there. Okay, they just gather them up. We're going to go get them. Come on, ICE, go get them. And let's get them all and then send them to any country. It doesn't matter. Don't send them to their country of origin. And then thank God that the Supreme Court came up with a real quick solution to just keep getting them out of here, because whatever Biden did was completely wrong, and it wasn't really smart. That's for sure. I mean, but what do I feel like? I feel like what you do is you basically help people. That's always been my thing. You just help them, especially people who need the help. And I'm telling you, the people who made it here, I still believe this. Okay, but show me other facts. Okay, so that I don't believe this. But I feel like those people who've come out of hell and back and living in countries in which either the squalor drove them out or the gangs drove them out. The gangs didn't come here. Why would the gangs come here? Some of the gangs did. Some people in gangs did. Well, how do we know? We know because of their tattoos. And the fact that I'm even saying that is insane, okay? Because that's all I've heard. There's nothing to back it up. Maybe the tattoos have facts on them. I don't know, but I do know that people generally, you don't expect that the gang members are going to come out, or they're going to come racing toward us, or they're not sending us criminals, okay? The people, 90% of them, I would say, okay, that's my guess. Why isn't my fact any better? Who do show up, okay, are coming because they are being fucked over on levels that we can't even begin to imagine. And that's where I'm at today, in Mucho More Madness. And I'm not going to go for very long because I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of watching it. I'm sick of being told that there's something I should do. All I can do is sit here and kind of spout out what I've read and hope that by doing that the universe listens and bounces it back down here, and people go, oh my God, I didn't even know that. And maybe we should do stuff. I don't know exactly what you do. You hope that the Supreme Court comes through. You hope that they come to their senses. You hope that the courts are allowed to do their job. You hope that this is not going to continue to grind people down, because what's occurring on the back pages, okay, out there where we don't see, in the back pages of papers and the phone, and where you don't see it, is insanity. Is just insanity. Okay, I've got the Elon Musk is basically in charge of Doge. He's going back now to work, or probably detox, because he was in charge of a major government slashing, and he's on ketamine. Apparently, yes. The horse tranquilizer, something you always want to have. If you're not a horse, you always want to do that. Now, I know that it has helped some folks in terms of PTSD, returning troops who've had to deal with PTSD, that it has been useful in terms of that. I did not know that's the kind of thing that gives you the kind of clear thinking that you need in order to, slash the budgets of an operation you didn't even know understand. Okay, because you're one of those people who was immigrant. So it's only the other immigrants who came, but here's a really smart immigrant, and obviously he is, okay, because he's made gazillions and billions and trillions. And of course, he's really done a remarkable job in terms of coming up with all of these things that he's come up with. However, you don't put him in charge of the government. That's something I believe, because he doesn't know anything about it. And because he's on ketamine, Adderall, so at least he's focused as he is a horse trank. Woohoo! I'd like to make a whinny, but I can't make a horse whinny. And if I did that, then I could just stop now. And that would be it and go, boy, he really gave a good horse whinny at the end. And a very focused one, because he's on Adderall. He was on ecstasy. He was on psychedelic mushrooms. He was just charging around there and getting the things done. And so I think he had to get back to work. And he did. And then we saw his rocket go up and then go ba-boom, ba-boom, and fall down again and not really do what he was hoping it would do. But don't worry about a thing, because he's getting us driverless cars in Philly. So those of you who live in Philly and those of you who are looking for somewhere to live, get out there, because the ketamine king is going to be sure that those cars will work for you, boy, because after the incredible job he's done with the government. But you got to hand it to him. He did say, they didn't really, he cut the budget the way he thought. They apparently, in the end, the $1 trillion he got out is really 176 million. And as long as we're talking about money, it should be noted that in 2023, they ran a thing in terms of the folks who work for the CEOs at Standard & Poor's, the Standard & Poor's 500 companies. Their average salary would take a worker 5 lifetimes to earn what the CEO of those companies earned in 1 year. Okay? 1. No problem there. So it's a good thing we're slashing those budgets, huh? Good thing we're slashing those budgets, and so that taking out all the fatty fat that we possibly can, which is not nearly enough to pay off the people who already have too much money. If that doesn't, what is it? How many more facts do fucking people need? Okay? To realize that this is utter madness, okay? Mucho more madness than anyone should have to sit and watch and deal with. And he's going, well, we're going to do tariffs, but we're not going to do tariffs, and we're going to do, hey, here's a good idea. Don't let foreign students in, okay, who basically do a tremendous job in terms of supporting many of the institutions that are vital to us, because they're called institutes of higher learning. And guess what you don't do? You don't fuck with them on that level. There are all sorts of reasons you might want to fuck with them, but not that one, okay? One of the reasons you want them to come in is so you can entice them to stay here, like Musk, and do the kinds of things that they are really good at. Not the government slashing, but the kind of, or maybe someone comes in who really gets it and understands it, because they came from a country in which they were living the way that we do. And there was all the oligarchs, maybe somebody from Russia even comes in and goes, hey, I know how to work this out. I know how to, you do it because you want to attract the best and the brightest in the entire world. That's why you do it. Okay? It's ludicrous. Tell the folks at Harvard, don't tell these schools how to run themselves. All right? When you had a university that goes belly up, when you can't even run a casino, stop it. Okay? The federal government, keep its fucking nose out of what goes on there. It's for, God damn it. The money was going to research. We're not going to do any more research. Well, good. Don't. All right? We'll all just, we'll drop dead earlier. That'll be good. And then we won't have to worry about Social Security or any of the other problems that we've got. Certainly won't have to worry about health insurance, because we won't be, well enough to be healthy enough to make it to the hospital and get some help. And listen to me, I don't even know what I'm saying half the time anymore, because this is making me insane. I'm tired of watching it. I'm tired of hearing about it. Hey, and in terms of the rich, most Americans don't earn enough to afford, this is 60%, I believe. Most Americans, 60% of them don't earn enough to afford the basic costs of living. Okay, that's a fact. All right? Maybe it's 60%, maybe it's 58%. It's a lot of them, way more than there should be. Okay? In the richest country on earth, which he thinks is a failure and we don't have enough. And then we're going to do these cuts, and in terms we're going to fight back in terms of tariffs, and that will, we will generate huge industries here. All right? We all you had to do was work it and come up with a better angle. There's no need to go, I think it's this, I'm sure of that, and I'm near that. And then meanwhile, what does he care? He's fine. Okay? He goes from the White House to a mansion, to a mansion, to a mansion. All right? There's not enough marble in his life. Yeah, his teeth are probably made of marble. Who am I talking about? You know who I'm talking about. I'm sick and tired of talking about it. Meanwhile, the Make America, there's Make America Great Again, and there's also Make America Healthy Again, brought to us by, of course, the Health and Human Services guy, Robert Kennedy Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who also, he told us not to listen to him. And there's a reason why, because some of the citations that underpin the science in the White House's sweeping Make America Healthy Again report appear to have been generated using artificial intelligence. And we don't know how it works. We just have not made it work yet. Okay, it hasn't been around long enough. You're worried about the vaccine, which at least has more of a history than artificial intelligence. Does it? I don't know. My facts are as good as the facts I'm hearing. All right? If we're going to just make up shit, but I don't think I'm making up shit. All right? So we're going to just say, no COVID vaccine. If somebody wants the COVID vaccine, we're going to kind of push against that, even though it would be really good if some of these kids had it, but we'll find out. This will be the experiment. We'll see how these kids do. All right? We'll see how we do without it. I know that I get it because I'm too old. That's right. And I've got an underlying condition, which is what? I'm insane. I'm losing my mind. Why? Because of Mucho More Madness. But meanwhile, so it appears they were generated, the MaHa report, the Make America Healthy Again report, it generated using artificial intelligence, resulting in numerous garbled scientific references and invented studies. And I'll repeat that, invented studies. And I'll repeat that, invented studies. The fucking AI came up and invented the studies because that's how smart it is. It's as smart as we are. It's going, wow, if these fuckers can just make up shit, I'm going to make up shit too. The AI experts said this on Thursday. That's right. This past Thursday, they said it. All right. Just this past Thursday. Of the 522 footnotes to scientific research in an initial version of the report, at least 37 appear multiple times, according to a review of the report by the Washington Post. And don't tell me, well, it's all right, the Washington Post. All right, the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos is basically the president. So and people have left the Post because of a variety of the fact that they believe that they're not printing anything, or just not allowing the freedom of the press that is necessary. All right. But meanwhile, they came up with this. They came up with just the facts. Other citations include the wrong author, and several studies cited by the Extensive Health Report do not exist at all. Health studies don't exist at all. They made some up, and then others don't exist. And this is a fact that was first reported on Thursday morning. What do you say? What do you do? Mucho more madness. Mucho more madness. RFK Jr. also says he may bar scientists from publishing. He hasn't thought about it yet. He's got to think it out. But he may bar scientists from publishing in top medical journals. So how are we going to know? Why would I mean? Not that I read top medical journals. I barely read. I seriously barely read enough now to get me through a day, and I believe that I'm not reading as much as I should, for sure. But it would be nice to know that that's out there. That those people who did the work can put their findings or their speculations, as he seems to have, and is talked around the country, telling us what he thinks in terms of vaccinations, or make America healthy again guy, Bobby Kennedy Jr., with the F in the middle, which stands for fuck up. So that's what I got. That's all I got. It's too much. One thing I will share with you, and and it's been really good, is that just 3 or 4 days ago, 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 4. Who's counting? I have a puppy now. That's right. It's one of the reasons I'm going a little shorter. I did not have the kind of time. This has become, I have to adjust to him. He has to adjust to me. I'm getting up way too early to walk him. I've had the other dog that I had early on in college, was really well trained, and I didn't have to go through some of the stuff I'm doing now. But this dog has arrived extraordinarily well trained, and I'd like to thank the folks of the Children's Cancer Fund out in Minneapolis who had an auction. I saw a picture of this dog. I'm not going to use the word that is used, but it is a combination of a sheepdog and a poodle. It's a mini version of it. And he's really quite something. He's adorable. I saw his face. I said, I want that dog. I think that dog needs me to take some of its adorability out, and I need it to be more adorable. But I just had an instinct about it, and it seems to be working out. And the folks really brought me the dog, and they did a tremendous job with him, and hopefully I've helped in a small way. I mean, but talk about, I'm yelling and screaming about people having money, but I was lucky enough to be able to use that money for some sort of purpose other than my own satisfaction with the dog, who really is at this point is kind of been a big help to imagine that. He's helped distract me so that I wanted to spew this stuff out and get back to dealing with him. He's right here under the desk. You'll be seeing pictures. I may give him his own website because and Instagram, the son of a bitch, because he's got a lot more to say just by being than I have by talking. And I'm still alive, for those of you who continue to write in. Boy, I didn't know you were alive. I don't know what else to do, all right? This comes out on every day. All you got to do is look it up, all right? And I have to be alive because the dog is. The dog's name, by the way, I named him after my dad. I think he'd be happy. The dog's name is Sam, and I call him Sammy. One more thing to read here because it's just extraordinary. There's the 2 House GOP members want the National Institutes of Health to conduct a taxpayer-funded study, even though they don't want people to study anything anymore. The 2 Republicans, the House members, want a study of the Trump derangement syndrome. The TDS Research Act from Representatives Warren Davidson of Ohio and Barry Moore of Alabama. And they would direct the NIH to study the psychological and social roots of the extreme negative reactions to President Donald J. Trump. What I have given out today is not a negative reaction to Donald J. Trump as much as it is a reaction to those he hires, and a reaction to the fact that He doesn't seem to be really interested in helping the people that he said he was going to help. All right. Um, I'm I'm more angry in terms of his execution of what he's doing. Okay. So good luck with that, and I'm hoping it really works out for me so that my dog grows up happier and healthier. If I'm able to have, if I do have Trump derangement syndrome, which I'll be able to find out. It's good that that's what they're going to study. Okay, take money away from cancer research, all sorts of other research that's being done at all these schools, including Harvard, and I don't sit and have a love for Harvard. Let me just digress here for a moment. I don't have a love for Harvard, and I think it's kind of appalling the level that it's at, but it's important. And the reason it's important is whether we like it or not, is because someone, much like any sport, someone has got to be the pinnacle. Someone has to be what we aspire to. All right, and that appears to be it. All right, and our president went to the University of Pennsylvania, for God's sake. All right, that's not low hanging fruit. It's in the Ivy League. So stop it. All right. Let the intelligent people in this country alone. Leave them alone. Not let them. Leave them alone. Let them do their work, and if it's it and let them try to find some light at the end of what appears to be a hellish tunnel at times, especially if you're ill. Help them try to find ways in which I can go on. The list is endless. Fix health insurance, make government smaller and more efficient, do all the things. That's why we've got these places. They have the time and they have the effort and they have the energy, and we don't have to pay students to do this. All right. They do it because they want to. Well, that's enough for I've got great rants came in, and I really appreciate them. And they are getting, once again, better and better and better. And not that the others, any rant written is a great rant. And I deeply appreciate the time, the energy, the effort you put into it, and the privilege and the pleasure that I have reading them. So thank you. I hope you have a splendid week. I hope the summer treats you well, and you had a great fatty fat Memorial Day weekend. I hope it was good, and I hope all goes well. Soon you'll meet Sammy, and you'll say, "Gee, Louis, why are you screaming? You got a cute dog like that? You're really a jerk." Oh, God. From Richard Gagnon, and I'd like to thank you for this. I'm so tired of websites sending me an email that a device has logged into my account after they logged me out of it. Hey, morons, the only reason I had to log into my account is because you bastards logged me out of it. It's not a new device. It's the same one I've been using for months on the account till you logged me out of it. Can't you just send me an email apologizing for why you logged me out of my account and why it needs to be done? I'd prefer that to getting an email that makes absolutely no sense. If that's the only one you receive every day, Richard, you are the luckiest man on earth. We have created a monster, and now many people feel the obligation is they must feed the monster on a daily basis, typing in stuff that is totally not necessary. And they're not even typing it in. Now they don't even need to do it. They just have artificial intelligence tell you this is what's going on. It's unbelievable. And I'm sick and tired of telling them it's not a new device, and it keeps telling me it is a new device, and how that it knows better than I know. Yeah. Thanks, Richard. You got me all riled up. And you're the first one I read today. Here we go. Mark McKinley. Something that's been oft-stated in our lifetime, but nothing that I've really read in the rants that I've received. So thank you, Mark, for pointing this out yet again. It's time to talk about men with small penises. Did I say small? maybe even micro penis-sized nubs that required said male to have a greater than average need for attention. Yes, I'm speaking of males of all ages that need to possess cars that are way, way above the normal noise level. Lewis, there's a 21-year-old in my neighborhood that drives a $65,000 BMW that has a custom exhaust system so that with a push of a magic button, he can create noises that sound like gunfire. And this can be heard a mile away. No, really, you pray. And I'm a fucking atheist that he won't open the exhaust system up until he's long gone. Huh? Did his mother not show him enough love early in life, or did he one time not get a participation trophy at soccer camp? When I hear his car coming, and I do several times a day, I want to spread his nails across the road. Help! Huh? Help me! Tell me I'm wrong, or is there a better way to teach him a lesson than the nails, Lewis? No way. Okay? And don't tell him that he's got a micro penis, okay? Because that's not going to help the argument, and you could get hurt. He could drive that car right through your house. So I don't know what to tell you, Mark, except earplugs, because once you deal with these people, you're dealing with idiots, and you're dealing with a young idiot. So he's gonna be maturing and getting older and sharing his oh God, his love of excess noise to prove his manhood. Actually, it's usually the good-looking car, and there's certainly the BMW plays into that. But the sound that they need loud sounds to prove their manhood. I'd not read that before or heard it. So thanks, Mark. And may your day be a quiet one. This intrigues me because I see it in New York all the time, and I just got a dog. Yes, I did. You'll be hearing about it. Or you already have. But here this comes to us from Mary Murphy. Hi, Lewis. I need to get something off my chest before I explode into a million goddamn pieces. Dog strollers. That's right, dogs in strollers. I was always taught that dogs need exercise. When did vets say, hey, it's better to push than walk your dog? What the hell is going on? Since when did it become inhumane to let a dog do what it was born to do? Walk. I swear, every time I go outside, I see some overgrown human shoving a perfectly healthy golden retriever around in a goddamn baby carriage like it's the heir to the British throne. And it's not just purse dogs either. No. I've seen a bulldog, for God's sake, getting chauffeured around like it's the goddamn Queen of England. What the hell happened? And it's not just women. I've seen men, full-grown, bearded men, pushing a 60-pound Labrador down the street like it's a delicate Fabergé egg. Buddy, you have failed as a man. Your ancestors are looking down from whatever afterlife they exist in, and they are embarrassed. You think your great-great-grandfather, who worked 16-hour shifts in a coal mine just so you could afford to buy bread, just so he could afford to buy bread, would have put his bloodhound in a goddamn carriage? No! Because he wasn't insane. But now, here we are in 2025, where we have people strolling through tourist-packed streets, blocking the sidewalk, forming these flesh and metal barricades of entitled idiocy, while actual pedestrians are forced to walk in traffic just to get around these four-wheeled pet chariots. Because God forbid little Snickers has to touch the ground. Let me be clear. If your dog has an actual medical condition, fine. But if you are just too damn lazy to let your dog walk, then you shouldn't have one. If you can't be bothered to let your pet do the one thing it naturally enjoys, then maybe you should do us all a favor and adopt a stuffed animal instead. Enough. If I see one more of these overgrown pet bassinets blocking my way, I swear to God, I'm flipping the whole goddamn thing over. Walk your damn dog. Or don't have one. End of story. Termite, Mary Murphy, dog owner and walker. Thanks, Lewis. For those who don't know, she refers to herself as a termite. She's not only a dog owner and a walker, she is a termite. And that is a reference to Kathleen Madigan's pubcast. And those who listen and follow her closely are known as termites. And I consider myself a termite too. Thanks very much, Mary, for sharing that. And it had to be said. And you're the first one to say it on the Rantcast, and I appreciate it. And I will not be pushing my dog around in a stroller. No, that's not going to happen. At least at this point, I've only had him a bit now, a couple of days, and we'll walk about 10, 15 yards, and then he stops and looks around. He literally sits like he's a tourist or something in New York City. He hadn't been here before, and he's checking things out. It's funny to watch. This comes to us from Shawn Morra. I happen to live in the bouquet of clusterfuck Free State, Florida, where the weather and theme parks alone draw millions of assholes from all over this great nation and planet every year, and gleefully invite them to hook a tentacle of the money vacuum to their bank accounts for an unforgettable intrusion into the towns and neighborhoods we locals call home. While we aren't the only state who relies on tourism, I would argue that we are more dependent on it than many. Our state is the tawdry, spread-eagle whore, welcoming with open arms any and all who have the means to take a roll in the hay. Make yourself at home. Leave your trash all over our beaches, clog our highways. Do your worst. We'll only smile and ask you to come back again soon. Hurry back, you sunburnt, clueless asswipe. Be sure to bring the whole damn family and treat us like the barking slut we are. When you're on your way home, trying to figure out if there's enough money left to send little Jimmy to the junior NRA summer camp, or if Porsche the stripper might send you those pictures or call while your wife is sitting shotgun, we will be stacking your money with the rest of the idiot's money to be properly laundered into the pockets of the state government and the good old boys that keep the machine chugging along. Well said, Shawn. You live in Orlando, I wonder? Which is truly madness. I was just there again a while back, and wow, too many things, too little time. But I'm a part of that, by being in the Pixar film, I'm a part of that Disney empire, and I'll be down there, pissing away my money, but not as much as others, because I'm a part of that Pixar creation. Inside Out 1 and 2, and I've not taken advantage of being able to spend some time there and get to the front of the line without paying for it. And I won't be, Shawn. So I'll say hey, or you say hey, actually, if you see me. All righty. Take care. Wow. Trinity Burke. She has this to say. Hello, Lewis Black. My co-worker introduced me to your channel. Needless to say, we have been experiencing a plethora of workplace drama. 90% of our office is fed up with the bullshit. Do your work and go home. We could give less of a shit about who wears what or what he or she said. We are all here for the same goddamn paycheck. Just shut the fuck up and go home. Worry about your damn self. Sincerely, Trinity. Wow. I'd be interested to hear what it is that they're talking about. Thank you, Trinity. Wow. I don't think you all work for the same paycheck. I mean, I know you mean that metaphorically, but finally, after 100 years, that women are being screwed, still probably are. So I hope you're getting your proper paycheck, Trinity. As I've mentioned to others, use it to get some earplugs if they're sitting around yakking and driving you insane. From Bill Corsak, short, sweet, and to the point. I got a call from my work telling me I was let go on the first day of my vacation. And then Bill was rendered speechless, as am I. It's really terrific that's when they dropped the news on you, Bill. What was your reaction? How was your vacation? Send that in. Mention that I read your thing, and we'll move on from there. I mean, you can just see it's like, watching a volcano erupt, Bill. I can imagine. I can only imagine. They're just senseless the way some people operate, and especially in business. Oh, no, they're really good. We really ought to privatize everything because they're better than government. Really? I don't know. All depends on who's working there. And I'm sorry you're working for an asshole, Bill. From Shirley Stewart, we all want a better world for ourselves and our kids who will carry on. Seems hard to lead a good example and teach our kids honesty, empathy, and kindness when the leaders are corrupt, lying, thieving bastards who'd rather spit on and dance on our corpses than to be a decent person. Yeah, well, hopefully, it's like with the ducks that you're imprinted being the parent on them. And these ones who are doing everything that they can to cheat the system or being pricks or disturbing or morons, really, that your kid's oblivious to them. I'm sure you'll make sure that they are, Shirley. I'm sure you will be yelling and screaming, and rightfully so, and thank you for sending that in. Here's from Marty Lane, another one from the books, from the annals of our spectacular healthcare system, which I just dealt with this morning, and 10 days took me, and I'm asking for the bill because I don't want them harassing me. Instead, they're just sending me something every day. Go to the website, go to the website, go to the website. I go to the website. And what does it tell me? Talk to somebody in charge, basically. That's really it. And then I had to kind of call them up. And did they get back to me? No. Did they answer the phone? No. Leave a message here and only leave one message. Or we will not get back to you. It will be slower. It took them 10 days. And they want the money. And for an overpriced test, for something that unbelievably overpriced, and came back with no results. But they said they'd send me another one. I'm not taking that test again. It's really you blow through a straw into a test. It's really it. Blow through a straw into a test tube, and it has to be every 15 or 16 minutes. I can't remember which. And then it came back with no evidence of nothing. Didn't work. It didn't work. And I had to send them half. Well, my insurance would only pay for half of it, I guess, because it did. I wouldn't mind paying for half of it, but half worked. It didn't work. All right, I've gone on way too long, Marty. You got me all crazy because this is extraordinary. I couldn't believe my eyes when I received a medical bill for my routine checkup. It was $1,019. And after looking further, I see that $754 of that was proposed to the insurance for depression consulting. You know, have you been depressed lately? About 4 questions total. Of course, the Medicare allowed only around $100 and paid it. I wasn't depressed until I saw this. Ask your doctor. 2019. How long were you in with him? Or her, Marty? Let me know. Probably you pay, unless you're in there longer, I guess it goes by. It would have worked out better if you were in there longer. Of course, you would have had to pay more, but by the hour, I bet it would have been cheaper. Unbelievable. $754 for depression counseling. That's why you see a shrink. Unbelievable. Thank you, Marty. Here's one from Kristen Diane Pollock. Hello, Mr. Black. I'm in Chicago and simply have to ask, what the fuck, people? Can we not actually move like we've got a goddamn purpose in this life? No. We have to take our slow-ass time in crossing a goddamn street. Come the fuck on. You get 30-plus seconds to get across the crosswalk, huh? I exempt senior and disabled persons from this because they cannot help their walking pace. However, the rest of you miserable fucks can learn to move your goddamn ass. And I don't mean your donkey, I mean your rear end. Shit. Get it together, you worthless piles of horse dung. And get your head out of your fucking ass. Walk, dumbass. Move, stupid. Get it in gear, moron. Motherfuck. Wow. Kristen, must have been a long day. And you must have got behind some people who drove you insane. Wow. Well, you can move here. We move very quickly here, only now we built like a moat between us and the other side. There's a sidewalk, then there might even be another sidewalk. Then there's, of course, the bike lanes. And then you got to worry, because if you're crossing those is like crossing 3 lanes. And then you finally get to the lane. I can't even describe it. But sorry for that, Kristen. Sorry. Not much can be done. All right. Maybe they're tourists. Maybe they're tourists. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.